Hello, everyone. I'm Willey, Sales Account Manager with Supra. My goal today is to give you some tips and tricks and to share with you the new eKey Pro enhancements that you just got. So my goal today is to go through all of this, and then I'm going to give you some resources for you to go back to either customer care or staff to be able to answer any questions for you. I do want to point out that Supra has a state-of-the-art phone system. Our goal is to get to you within about a 30-second, less than a minute time frame. We have about 100 people that are on the lines being able to assist you if you're in front of a door or you just need assistance the morning that you're going to go out and view properties, whatever it might be. This phone number, I do suggest that you save it directly to your personal device so that you have it at the ready should you need it. Additionally, I like to point out that as you get through the system, it does give you what we call an IVR prompt asking you, are you a member? And by doing that and selecting you are a member, what that does is it routes you to the right team so they're able to assist you. Should you select the wrong routing, it sends you to another team, which then has to go ahead and transfer you. So I'm just trying to make sure that I save you some time. Additionally, our system, once you put in your identifier, the person who's on the other end of that line gets you in the queue. They're able to help you very quickly, but additionally, all of your information in a screen prompt actually appears for them. So they know who you are, what boxes you have, what listings you might have. So all of that information becomes available. So there's not a lot of verification that goes on, and it's a real time saver. So I always like to put it out there that you have the opportunity of calling customer care, and we are available all the days of the year except for 5 days. And those days are like Christmas and New Year's and 4th of July. So we are there Monday through Sunday, available to you from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. California time. So I do highly suggest that you reach out. Additionally, I would like to talk a little bit about your eKey. You might have recently noticed some changes. You might have many of these icons or just some of the icons, but specifically you've been added to the eKey Pro opportunity, which includes a few things like a roster. You have my buyers, you get buyer feedback. And then we also added the ability for managed access, which is great. And I will go through that as well. So to kind of go through this, eKey Professional is an upgrade that we were able to provide to your organization that you now have the benefit of. You have the opportunity, should you need it, to get agent roster information and contact information for showing agents. You can search, do custom search, hot sheets, and search your own listings, and you can get real-time listing data that gives you showing information regarding the property as well, so showing notes. Very helpful, especially when you're standing in front of a doorway and someone says, well, I see that there's a house down the street. I don't really recall that one. And you can pull it up and say, well, that one had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You told me that definitively you needed a minimum of 3 bedrooms. So that's why we're not seeing it today. Or it just hit the market. Would you like me to schedule a showing? So you can go through that process very quickly from the eKey device. Additionally, you have the opportunity to get home tours, and home tour allows you to provide a link directly to your buyer and invite them to join your home tour and recommend listings to them. It does allow you to capture client feedback. So if you're using paper resources for this, it allows you to streamline the process, better understand your client's needs, and really stay lock and step with them throughout the buying process. Additionally, this also allows your buyers an easy way to track and rate homes. They can add comments, maps. They can even add additional photos as they're walking the property. And you can organize the tour so that they have the resource, or their family has the resource, to go back and view the details of that showing. Additionally, you can recommend for them listings and they can recommend listings. What's nice about this is you do have the capability of getting a fractional rating. So you'll see over here it says overall rating of 4.6. And then it gives them a varying degree of how happy they are, from a super happy to a super unhappy. And they can write in notes and again take photos. Very nice and easy to maintain, and it allows them to go back at any time and view this resource. They can add those photos very easily. And then I also want to point out that this fractional rating allows them to differentiate between, say, a property that had a 4.3 rating to a 4.6 rating, and you can see where the variance was of that. And you have the ability to give them an opportunity for a mobile listing search. Now, this isn't a mobile MLS and will not replace your mobile MLS, but it does give your buyer the opportunity to look at public remarks in a listing format so that they can decide if they'd like to view that property. So you'll see right here, I've got the differences between the buyer view and the agent view. And you'll notice I have the opportunity as a buyer to rate the home. And then once that home is rated, I, as the agent, see that rating. And then also as a buyer, I see that rating as well. So this gives me better clarification, gives me an opportunity to go back and review and digest the information. And we kind of stay lock and step in the entire process. Now, while the agent view does have full roster and notes, it does not give that. And again, it's just public information that is available to the buyer. Now, you do have an opportunity to do a full roster search. So as you enter in the property, if your buyer just loves this house and you know you're going to write an offer, you could reach out to the other member and tell them that you're very interested in writing an offer. Of course, you'd like to find out if there are any other offers on the table and that you'd be sending that over quickly. And you can do this with one push button directly from the actual information from the app on the eKey Pro. Now, listing data and data at the door is wonderful. Again, it provides you last minute listing instructions. So now all of a sudden I find as a selling agent, I have a leak in the sprinkler system out back. It's shooting water up. I can put that into the notes for the showing agent and letting them know we are aware and we have someone coming out to fix it. All of this information is only available to you, again, not to the buyer, but the data at the door really helps you with last minute instructions. Don't let the cat out. Make sure that he's sneaky. He will try. Leave the lights on, put a card at the on the counter. And then I can leave showing notes on the ready, right? So I can already have those in, or I can update them anytime. The user experience that you might have received when you received your eKey and your lockbox might be different than what your experience is today. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes as we gain more knowledge or as we utilize a system, our needs change. So today, your needs might be different. When you first started in the industry, the most important thing was that you could open a lockbox and go view properties. Today, you'd like some time-saving tips in order to be able to get those tasks done. So I'm going to go over a couple things like agent alerts, start and end of showings, why you would consider using biometric access, if you have an Apple Watch 3 or greater, and then also additional training and support resources that you might not know about. These things might have been presented to you at the time, but because you didn't need them, they went in one ear and out the other. So let's just go through them so that you're aware of some of these opportunities that might streamline your day. So the first thing I like to point out to you is the eKey access. So the most important thing that you should know is that it's reliable. You can access all of your listings. You can change your lockbox settings directly in the eKey app. You should be getting a begin and end a showing detail, but unfortunately, that information might have not been enabled when you selected your application use, meaning you got what we call a EULA, a user interface, and you said no, you didn't want any notifications. Well, you do have the opportunity to go back, which will allow you to get those. Now, you don't need cell coverage to access the lockbox because it is just what it is Bluetooth enabled. So that's also a really important facet. If you are someone who has multiple keys, maybe you're an appraiser, maybe you're a snowbird with your out of area half the year, and you have 2 associations you belong to as a member, you can utilize a service and a process called My Keys, which allows you to customize and nickname each one of your keys and basically switch back and forth between the 2 keys in the one application. Super easy to use, making sure everything's in one place, and that you have the capability of switching very easily when you move back and forth across the state. Additionally, there are agent alerts, and this is a safety alert. It allows you the opportunity to send a message to 3 people with a PIN location of your last known location. Now, today, this is not able to be configured directly in the eKey app. You would need to go to the Supra Web platform on a computer to do this. And the easiest way to do that is this more function on the right-hand side with 3 dots. And in there will be a link for Supra Web. And you can click on that and enter into Supra Web directly from your device. But it doesn't, the eKey device doesn't allow a Supra Web opportunity. So I want to point that out. If you go to your computer and you put in Supra Web, you'll go to it. Now, showing notifications. Again, as I indicated, when you first received your eKey app, you probably might have said something like, yeah, I don't want notifications to occur from this app. And I might not even want to go ahead and enable any notifications because they're bothersome. So I always like to point out that you can go back and modify these so that when you're getting someone to the door and they've started the notification that they are viewing the properties with their clients, you'll get that notification. Additionally, the end of notification will come as well if you do these few steps. So what I'm going to ask you to do is you're going to go directly to your notifications within your device. One of the things that we probably have already set up is that you didn't want your notifications to occur all the time because you were concerned that your battery was going to get worn down faster by having that continually ping, but it doesn't. So right now, when you go in to your device, one of the things that you'll see is the location services might say never because you said don't send me any notifications, or it might say only while using. So let me give you a scenario. You go ahead and you show properties on Saturday, and you are not using the notification services and location services on your eKey device. Sunday was your family day. Monday was your office day. Tuesday, you take clients out to go show properties. When you do that on Tuesday, the member that you actually showed properties on for Saturday is going to get a notification that you just ended your showings from Saturday. And the reason for that is it's only sending notifications as you go ahead and open the app, because you've told the app to only use those notification services while you're using it. So in the interim, nothing's being completed and nothing's being sent. That's why you might receive a phone call from the listing agent saying, did you go ahead and lock up the property? I haven't received any notifications yet. So by changing the location services to always, this allows you an opportunity to send the notifications as you complete them. Additionally, you'll notice as you leave a property, as you walk away, it's going to give you an end of showing notice. We find that most members don't even click this. And so it defaults an hour later than when you actually close that off. So what I would ask that you do is just click the button for end of showing so that you can tell your listing agent that you're hopefully going to be working with to write an offer that the showing has been completed, and hopefully they'll do that for you. And what that does is it streamlines the process for everyone, letting them know that everything has been completed. Additionally, we do have a 1-day pin. So today, if you've not enabled the 1-day pin, you go to every single listing that you have scheduled for the day to do a showing. Maybe it's 10 showings. Maybe you're going to show your client 10 showings today because they're from out of area and you just need to get as many in as possible. So every time you get to a door, you have to put in your PIN. So I'm going to show you how to streamline that process. Additionally, if you have biometric features like you have scanning of your face or your fingers on your device, this is an extra security step that you can add to your device to ensure should anyone else get your device, they cannot go and utilize your eKey to open up any listings. The most important feature is this 1-day PIN. So I'm going to show you where to go. And what you're going to do is you're going to go directly into your home screen on your eKey, and you're going to see what we call a hamburger, even though it's not stacked like a hamburger, is called the More button. When you click on More, you're going to go to Settings. And in the settings, you're going to see a few things that might not be enabled. One would be that require biometrics, which allows you an opportunity to go ahead and add an extra safety feature so that just not anyone can open your eKey and utilize lockboxes should you lose your device. The second thing is require PIN once a day. And what does that do? Well, if you toggle this over so it is yellow, this will require when you update your eKey in the morning because you're having coffee, like we suggest, open your coffee, pour your coffee, open your eKey so it updates for the day. What this will do is every single listing that you see that day, you will have only needed to put in your PIN one time versus seeing the 10 listings and putting it in 10 times. That itself is worth its weight in gold because the quicker you get into a listing, the more professional you seem, and it allows you an opportunity to get someone in and out of a listing very quickly and hopefully get a offer on a property placed. Again, as we pointed out, biometrics might not be enabled. If you would like to add this extra security step, you would toggle this over so it shows in yellow as well. So moving on, this is where I wanted to point out that Supra web location. This is where you would add your alerts. So again, Supra web will take you to a secondary site, which is the Supra. It's our website. It's our Supra system site. But Supra web allows you to add 3 names, email addresses, and cell phone numbers for safety purposes, so that if you are in a situation where you need someone to know your last physical location, you can do this directly from your device down here on the alert segment next to the Supra logo. Or if you have an iWatch 3 or greater, you can click the link on the alert directly on your iWatch, and that will send a pin drop as well, very inconspicuously. So this is your iWatch 3 or greater, and you'll see it connects. So you would download the Supra eKey app directly to your device. And again, you're going to get those notifications, beginning showing, end of showings. You can do this as well, and you can send that safety alert should you need it. It'll send it out to up to 3 people and do a pin drop of your current location. Assigning lockboxes to listings. So today, we've noticed that majority of members do not do this. It's a little bit backwards on how the process works. You get a listing, and you're supposed to assign the lockbox to a listing. But realistically, you're assigning listings to lockboxes. So as we move forward with Supra One, which will be our latest enhancement for Supra Web, we'll be sunsetting Supra Web, and this new environment's going to be wonderful, very easy to use, very intuitive for you. This will be corrected. But today, you would need to assign a lockbox to a listing. If you're not doing it, I want to point out to you that it gives you all of your showing activity by actually having this one step in place. You can check your lockbox settings, you can go in and modify showing information or information on the listing, like that sprinkler that might be broken or leaky toilet, and let the buyer know that you are aware of this and it's getting fixed. So there's a lot of benefits to assigning a lockbox to a listing. So we always like to point that out, that you have the opportunity to improve your experience by making sure that you do this. We have updated our website, and our website is suprasystems.com. And I want to point out to you that we have a segment called How Do I? And what does that mean? It means that if you have questions on any process regarding your eKey or your lockbox, you can search in normal terms, how do I open a shackle? How do I assign a lockbox? You can do that directly through the system, and it's available 24/7. So minus the 5 days a year that customer service isn't available to you, you can find resources here. Additionally, it is mobile friendly. We do have tips and tricks. We have support resources, and there are very small video segments that are 3 minutes or less in length that you can go through that show you processes to streamline your usage of the eKey app as well as your lockbox. One other feature that recently came out that you might not be aware of is that if you went to the eKey app, and at the very top, you're going to see Southwest Riverside Association of Realtors in the yellow bar at the very top. By clicking on that yellow bar, you are going to be able to get a list of all the primary and secondary associations where you have access. Now, I always suggest that if you are going to be traveling, say, from your current organization, maybe all the way up into the Bay Area, because you do have access into Northern California as well, that it's very important that you just pick up the phone to that association and confirm there are no additional steps that you need to have them complete on your behalf in order to be able to view that property. And the reason for that is some orgs do require some information before you do that. So I'd hate you to go all the way up north and find out that you don't have access when you should. So it's always important to reach out, but this allows you to relay confidently to your clients. If somebody said to you, do you have the ability to show me a property in Ventura? You could say, yes, I do, or Southland Regional, yes, I do, or even, like I said, up into the Bay Area, Marin, yes, I do. But I do highly suggest that you take a moment and reach out to do that. So lastly, I want to go ahead and just confirm that you have the customer service number as we started off today. That customer service number is 877-699-6787. And again, I would highly recommend that you keep this within your device so that should you need it, you can reach out at any time and get the assistance. So again, we are available to you multiple days a year, and we are available from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. except for 5 days a year. So with that, I am going to stop my share. I'm going to tell you thank you for your time today. And should you need assistance on any of the information that I've shared today, please reach out to customer care and they'd be happy to assist you as well. Thank you again for your time.